I love the beginning of fall because of all of the fresh produce pouring in from the home garden. And today I'm going to be preserving tomatoes, peppers, carrots, and more with my 5-month-old daughter, so things take a little longer than they used to. If you don't know me, my name is Hannah. I am a registered dietitian and new mama living in Colorado and growing and preserving some of my own food. So come and join me as I turn this mountain of produce into food that my family can enjoy all winter long. Good morning. So we are going to be doing a lot of preserving today. It's about mid-September, September 19th today. So this is the season where the tomatoes are just rolling in. I've had a really good crop of tomatoes this year, and I know this because last year I did some canning, but I've had to order new mason jars twice this year. So while I didn't necessarily remember how much canning I did last year, I know that this year is a lot more. So I've been making some diced tomatoes, some marinara sauce, and today I have a good crop of green peppers. So I'm going to be making some salsa, and I'm going to put those in sort of smaller jars because we only use a little bit at a time and we want to sort of save them in smaller batches. But take a look at this. So I've got all of my peppers, some of them anyways, that are already harvested here. So those look great. Got jalapenos, poblano peppers, Anaheim chili peppers, and then all of these tomatoes are gonna go in the salsa as well. I've found that the best amount to can with at any given time is about 15 pounds. It's not too much that it's overwhelming, and I can still do it within a couple of hours, but it's enough that it makes the canning batch worth it. All right, I'm heading out to the garden now because I'm gonna harvest up the basil as well. That's another thing that I really need to make today. I've been kind of neglecting it and it's starting to bolt or blossom, and so we want to cut that back to keep it growing for as long as possible before the frost. We're gonna get our first frost here in Colorado probably in a couple of weeks. Last year it had already happened at this time, so we're getting a little bit of a longer season this time. But harvesting up all the basil, gonna grab a couple of more tomatoes that look ripe and any other peppers that look ripe as well so that we can can those into salsa. Okay, so I finally dealt with all of that basil. We just had so much basil. I think we got like 4 cups of pesto, which was a lot, but I just kind of froze it in half-cup portions and then also 1-ounce portions. So I can just take a little ounce portion and drop it into pasta or whatever I'm making for lunch. Sometimes it's nice just to have a little burst of flavor, so I like to freeze it in small amounts too. And then I did give 2 jars away to my mother-in-law and my mom because they came and helped me with Junie a couple of hours today, and that was really nice to be able to have them play with her while I'm doing this giant batch of preserving. And you know, usually I kind of preserve as I go. I take 15 pounds of tomatoes here, I take a little batch of pesto there. Today I just had so much produce. We'd been gone the week before in the mountains, and so I just had so much produce. It was nice to help with Junie during that time and just sort of do a marathon session. So finished with the pesto. I have done the tomatoes too. They're kind of just there, and I haven't processed them yet. I will probably chop them today, but I don't think I'm going to get to the salsa. I'm just going to have to do that tomorrow because I think I just overcommitted to what I could possibly do in one day. But what I do want to finish up with is Junie's baby food. So I bought some apples from a local farm stand, and they are I think that they're Honeycrisp apples, and they come from the western slope in Colorado. So they're as local as you get for fruit where I am. Not a lot of fruit orchards or trees around here in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, but over on the western slope of Colorado, they have amazing peaches and apples. And so I do like to grab a lot of those whenever I can in the fall and either preserve them by drying them. We do that with peaches, or I really wanted to use it in Junie's baby food this year, some organic local apples. So I did a peach puree for her baby food the other day, and now I'm doing apples combined with carrots from my garden. And I actually used those carrots, or I harvested those carrots over the summer, my first batch of carrots, and I've got more growing out there, but I froze them, and now I'm gonna combine them both with some cinnamon for Junie's baby food. So I do want to do that today, and that is what I will do now. So now this was day 3 of trying to can this salsa. I had really only gotten through chopping the tomatoes the day before because that's just life with a 5-month-old. You tend to get interrupted quite a bit, but that's okay. We're going to finish up canning today. So I grabbed the peppers that I had kept in the fridge for that time, chopped them up, de-seeded them to not make the salsa too hot. And then I also decided to use some local onions, which I am so glad that I discovered these. I never even thought to really buy onions locally, but I ran out of onions in the middle of canning and I needed to go grab some, and the closest open place was actually a farm store that is not far from us, and they had amazing onions and garlic, so I used those for the canning. All right, now that all our veggies are prepped, let's get to the actual salsa making.